I was drunk and accidentally texted "fuck you" to a Mafia boss. His reply shocked me. Ethan Cole's hands were shaking so hard he could barely hold the phone. 3 shots of cheap whiskey burning down his throat, exhaustion bleeding into his eyes, red-rimmed and raw. 7 years of a life he thought he knew, lying shattered on the kitchen floor beside him. He typed the words he'd been screaming inside his chest all night. "Fuck you, Marcus. I hope you rot." He hit send. Then his phone buzzed. But the reply wasn't from his boyfriend. It was from a stranger. And what that stranger wrote next would pull Ethan Cole into a world he was never supposed to see. The first thing Ethan Cole noticed was the scent. Not Marcus's scent. Not the familiar cedar and sandalwood he'd grown accustomed to over 7 years, the alpha pheromones that used to make his omega hindbrain purr with contentment. Something sweeter. Something floral, almost. The kind of scent an alpha only picked up if it had been pressed into his shirt collar by someone else's gland, someone else's heat. Ethan stood in the doorway of their bedroom, still in his work clothes, button down, slacks, the uniform of a junior editor at a publishing house that didn't appreciate him. Still holding the bag of Thai takeout he'd stopped for on the way home. Penang curry. Marcus's favorite. He just stood there, staring at the shirt draped over the back of the chair. A white button-down, the one Marcus had worn to work on Tuesday. Ethan's brain did the math his heart had refused to do for months. Marcus? His voice didn't sound like his own. It came out thin, reedy, like a man who'd already started grieving before the body was cold. In the shower, babe. He could hear the water running. Could hear Marcus humming something, some old Stevie Wonder song he always butchered. The sound of a man who had nothing to hide. Except he did. Ethan stood frozen with that takeout bag slowly leaking warmth into his palm, condensation beating against his skin. And he did something he had never done in 7 years of being with him. He picked up Marcus's phone. It was sitting right there on the dresser. Face up. Unlocked. Because Marcus Bell had always been too arrogant to lock a phone. Too sure of himself. Too sure of him. The messages were right at the top. A man named Derek. Hearts. Little devil emojis. A photo preview Ethan couldn't quite make out at first. And then his thumb moved on its own. The photo opened. Ethan Cole felt the floor tilt sideways. It was Marcus in a hotel room Ethan had never seen. Lying on white sheets. Smiling at the camera with that lopsided grin Ethan used to think was only for him. The timestamp was from Tuesday. Tuesday Ethan had been in the hospital with his mother. Tuesday he'd sat in that plastic chair for 14 hours holding her hand after her surgery. Tuesday he'd called Marcus crying, and Marcus had said, "Babe, I'm so sorry, I'm stuck at the office, I'll be there soon." He never came. He told Ethan the next morning he'd fallen asleep at his desk. He had not fallen asleep at his desk. Ethan heard the shower shut off. Heard Marcus towel himself dry. Heard him humming that same stupid Stevie Wonder song. His hands were shaking so badly he almost dropped the phone. He set it down exactly where he'd left it, face up, screen dark. Then he walked to the kitchen and set the takeout bag on the counter and put both hands flat on the granite and tried to remember how to breathe. "Smells good," Marcus said, walking in behind him in sweatpants, still rubbing his hair with a towel. His alpha scent filled the kitchen, cedar and sandalwood, and something else now. Something that smelled like another Omega's heat. Ethan's nose had always been too sharp for his own good. "You get the Penang?" Ethan didn't turn around. "Who's Derek?" The silence that followed was the loudest silence Ethan had ever heard. He counted it. 1, 2, 3 seconds. Who's Derek? Marcus said, his voice doing something weird. Or somebody, Ethan said again. Now he turned. Now he looked at him. The man in your phone. The one who sent you a picture of you in a hotel room on Tuesday. Marcus's face did a thing then. A very specific thing. It was the face of an alpha calculating how much Ethan knew and how little he could get away with admitting. Ethan, babe, you went through my phone. That's your question right now? I'm just saying that's a violation of. Marcus. Ethan's voice cracked. He hated that it cracked. I sat in a hospital for 14 hours on Tuesday. I held my mother's hand while they put a tube down her throat. And you were in a hotel room. Ethan, it's not. Don't. Baby, listen to me. Don't. Ethan was yelling now. He hadn't meant to yell. He hadn't yelled at a man in his life. He was the quiet one. The polite one. The Omega his mother had raised to smooth things over, to never make a scene. Now he was screaming in his own kitchen. And he could not stop. 7 years, Marcus. 7 years of my life. And you, on Tuesday, while my mother was. It's not what it looks like. Then what is it? Marcus opened his mouth. He closed it. And Ethan Cole watched in real time his boyfriend of 7 years try to build a lie on the spot and fail. Watched his mouth move and nothing come out. Ethan thought to himself, very clearly, very quietly, I am never going to recover from this moment. I want you out, he said. Ethan. I want you out of my apartment tonight. Right now. Take your stuff and get out. It's my apartment too. The lease is in my name. Baby, can we just get out, Marcus? He left around 9:30. Took a duffel bag and his laptop and the watch Ethan had given him for their 5th anniversary. Tried to hug him on the way out, and Ethan stepped back like he was a stranger. Because he was. He had been for God knew how long. The door clicked shut. And Ethan Cole sat down on his kitchen floor with the cold tile pressing through his slacks, and he made a sound he had never made before, not a sob, not a scream. Something in between. The sound an Omega makes when he realizes he has been the only person in his own relationship for a very long time. He sat there until his phone rang. Ethan, it's Jess. I'm pulling up in 2 minutes. Open the door. How did you? Your sister called me. Open the door. Jessica Nakamura had been Ethan's best friend since the 7th grade, and Jess did not ask permission to show up in a crisis. He arrived 8 minutes later with a bottle of good whiskey, a bag of frozen dumplings, and the furious energy of a man who had been waiting years to tell his best friend, I told you so, and was now too kind to do it. Whiskey, Jess announced, slamming the bottle on the counter. Dumplings. And I brought the good salt. Sit down. Ethan sat. Jess poured 2 shots, pushed one across the counter, raised his. To trash men, Jess said. To trash men, Ethan whispered. They drank. Jess poured again. I never liked him, Jess said. You know that, right? I never liked him. I sat there at Thanksgiving when he made that joke about your mom's cooking, and I. Jess. I'm just saying. Please. Not tonight. Just, soften. Jess reached across the counter and took Ethan's hand. Okay. Not tonight. Tonight we drink. Tomorrow I get to say it. Deal. They drank. By the 3rd shot, Ethan was crying again. By the 5th, he was laughing at something Jess said about Marcus's forehead. By the 7th, he was angry. Not sad angry. Not wounded angry. The other kind. The kind of anger that sits behind an Omega's teeth for a whole year and finally breaks loose at midnight in his own kitchen. I want to call him, Ethan said. No. I want to tell him. Ethan. No. I want to tell him exactly what I think of him. Give me that phone. No, Jess, I just... Honey, listen to me. You are drunk. You are heartbroken. You will regret this in the morning. I won't regret it. You will. I need to say it, Jess. If I don't say it, I'm gonna carry it around in my chest for the rest of my life. Just let me type it out. I won't even send it. I promise. Jess sighed. Stared at him. Finally nodded. Type it. Don't send. Swear. I swear. Ethan picked up his phone. His fingers were clumsy, the screen blurry. He opened the messages. He typed. You are the worst thing that ever happened to me. You are a coward and a liar, and I hope every single person you ever touch after me sees right through you. You broke something in me that I don't even know how to fix yet. Fuck you, Marcus. I hope you rot. He stared at it. His thumb hovered. Don't, Jess said, watching him. I'm not. Ethan. I'm not sending it. Then put the phone down. I just want to look at it. Ethan. And then Ethan would replay this moment for the rest of his life. The moment his thumb moved half an inch to the right instead of half an inch down. He hit send. Jess saw it happen. Ethan. Tell me you didn't. Oh my God. Tell me. Oh my God, Jess, what did you do? I didn't mean to. I was just, my thumb. Okay. Okay, it's fine. You send it to Marcus, who cares? He deserved it. It's fine. But Ethan was staring at his screen. Staring at the name above the message. Staring at the contact that was not Marcus. The contact that was not anyone he knew. A string of 10 digits. A number he did not recognize. Jess. What? I didn't send it to Marcus. What do you mean you didn't send it to Marcus? I mean I sent it to the wrong number. Jess leaned over the counter and looked at the screen. Read the digits. Looked back at Ethan. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Some random person. Just delete it. Whatever. It's fine. And for about 11 seconds, that's exactly what Ethan believed. A random wrong number. Some stranger somewhere, probably asleep at this hour, who would wake up in the morning, see a furious drunk text from an unknown man, roll his eyes, and delete it. 11 seconds. Then his phone buzzed. Both men stared at it. Don't open it, Jess said. What if it's Marcus? Don't open it, Ethan. Do not open that. Ethan opened it. And his blood went cold. The message read. You have a beautiful rhythm when you type angry. Almost musical. I assumed this wasn't meant for me. Ethan read it once. Twice. 3 times. Jess. Look at this. Jess leaned in. Read it. Straightened up. Okay. That's weird, right? That is weird, Ethan. Who talks like that? I don't know. Tell them it was a mistake and block the number. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Ethan's fingers were still trembling from the whiskey, from the crying, from something else now, a small cold thing he couldn't name, crawling up the base of his spine. He typed. I'm so sorry. That was meant for my ex. I'm drunk. Please forget I ever. He hit send. 3 seconds. The phone buzzed. I don't forget much, Ethan. He stopped breathing. Jess. What? He knows my name. What? Ethan turned the phone around. Jess's face went through about 4 different colors. Ethan. Ethan, you didn't put your name on that message, did you? No. Is your number listed somewhere linked to your name? I don't think so. Block him. Block him right now. Ethan's thumb moved toward the block button. It hovered there. And he would never be able to explain this, not to Jess, not to his sister, not to himself. He did not press it. Instead, he typed. How do you know my name? 3 seconds. You introduced yourself 3 weeks ago at a restaurant on 52nd Street. You were arguing with a man. You bumped into me on the way out. You said, I'm so sorry, I'm Ethan. I'm such a mess tonight. I said, don't apologize. Messy nights are sometimes the honest ones. You laughed. You said no one had ever said anything nice to you like that. Then you left. Ethan read it. His mouth went dry. Because he remembered. He remembered the restaurant. He remembered the argument. Marcus had been drinking, had embarrassed him in front of the waiter, had said something cruel about his clothes. He remembered stumbling toward the door. He remembered bumping into a man in a dark coat. He remembered a voice, low and strange, saying something kind. He remembered laughing. He remembered wanting to turn around and look at him properly and not doing it because Marcus was pulling his sleeve. He remembered. Jess, he whispered. I met this man. What do you mean you met him? 3 weeks ago. At Ambrosia. The night Marcus got drunk. I bumped into somebody. I don't even remember his face. How does he have your number? I don't. His phone buzzed again. Breathe, Ethan. I'm not going to hurt you. He dropped the phone on the counter like it had burned him. Jess, he said. Jess. We are blocking him. Right now. Tonight. We are. The phone buzzed again. I'm going to say something that will scare you. I want you to stay calm. Your boyfriend Marcus is in a parking garage on 41st Street right now. He is with a man whose photograph you saw tonight. He is drinking. He will drive home drunk in approximately 40 minutes. I am telling you this because I don't want you to answer the door when he comes to apologize. He will come. He always does. Don't let him in. Ethan stared at the screen. Jess stared at the screen. Neither of them moved. Ethan. Jess's voice was very soft now. Very careful. Ethan, honey. What did you just walk into? Ethan couldn't answer. Because somewhere in the back of his mind, in the drunk quiet space behind all the noise, a single terrible thought had just surfaced, clear as a bell. How does a stranger know what Marcus is doing right now? How does a stranger know he's going to come back tonight? How does a stranger know any of this? He picked up the phone with shaking hands. He typed one word. Who are you? A long pause. Longer than the others. 20 seconds. 30. 45. Then. Someone who has been watching the wrong man hurt you for 3 weeks and was beginning to run out of patience. Go to bed, Ethan. Lock the door. We'll talk tomorrow. The 3 dots appeared again. Disappeared. Appeared. One more message came through. And Ethan, for what it's worth, he doesn't deserve a single one of those tears. The message was read at 11:47 p.m. At 12:24 a.m., exactly 37 minutes later, someone pounded on Ethan Cole's apartment door. It was Marcus. He was drunk. He had come to apologize. The pounding came in threes, 3 hard thuds, a pause, 3 more. The sound a drunk alpha makes when he thinks he still has the right to be somewhere. His scent hit Ethan through the door even before the knocking started. Cedar and sandalwood, sour with alcohol, thick with frustration. It was the scent of a man who had lost control of his omega and couldn't understand why. Ethan. Ethan, open the door, baby. Come on. Jess was already moving. He grabbed Ethan by the wrist and pulled him away from the entryway like he was pulling him out of traffic. Don't, Jess whispered. Don't you dare. I wasn't going to. Yes, you were. I saw your face. You were going to open that door. Jess, he's drunk. He drove here drunk, Ethan. That man just told you he was gonna drive here drunk. And here he is, drunk, banging on your door. And that was the thing that stopped Ethan cold. Not Marcus's voice through the wood. Not the pounding. The fact that a stranger had told him, to the minute, what his own boyfriend of 7 years was about to do. And the stranger had been right. Ethan, baby, I know you're in there. I saw your light. His stomach turned. Jess. He says he can see my light. He's lying. Your bedroom faces the alley. Right? Right. Breathe, Ethan. What do I do? Nothing. You do nothing. You sit on this couch with me, and we wait for him to get bored and leave. But Marcus did not get bored. Marcus got louder. Baby, I know you're mad. I know I messed up. I messed up big time. And I am here, I am right here, outside this door, to tell you I am sorry. Open the door. Please. Just open the door so I can look at your face. I can't listen to this, Ethan whispered. You don't have to listen. Put your hands over your ears. Come here. Jess pulled him into a hug. Ethan pressed his face into his best friend's shoulder and tried to block out the voice of the man who had sat across from him at Thanksgiving, held his hand at his grandfather's funeral, and lied to him every single day for God knew how long. Ethan. Open the door. Not a request anymore. A command. Marcus's alpha voice, pressing down on Ethan's hindbrain, trying to force compliance. Ethan felt his body want to obey. Felt the omega in him, trained over 7 years to submit, trying to pull him toward the door. He grabbed the kitchen counter instead, knuckles white. He's scaring me, Jess. I know. He's never yelled like that. I know, baby. Should I call the police? And right then, the exact second Ethan said the word police, his phone buzzed on the counter. Both men froze. Don't, Jess said. Ethan, don't look at it. Ethan looked at it. The message on the screen read. Don't call the police. I've already sent someone. He'll be gone in under 4 minutes. Stay away from the door. Ethan's knees went soft. He sat down on the floor right there in the hallway, phone in one hand, his best friend staring at him like he had lost his mind. Ethan, what does it say? He said someone is coming. What? He said don't call the police. He already sent someone. Who is this man, Ethan? I don't. Ethan. Give me the phone. Give me the phone right now. I'm blocking this number. Just wait. No. No, I'm not waiting. I'm not doing this. This is how people end up on Dateline, Ethan. This is exactly how people end up on Dateline. Some weird man in a coat starts texting them, and they think it's romantic, and then they disappear, and their mamas do a press conference. Jess. I'm serious. I know you are. But Jess, how did he know Marcus was coming? How did he know he'd be drunk? How did he know the exact minute? Jess opened his mouth to answer. Closed it. Didn't have one. And outside the door, Marcus kept yelling. Baby! Come on! This is ridiculous. Don't make me stand out here like some. Then the yelling stopped. Mid-sentence. Clean cut, like somebody had pulled a plug. Both men went still. Jess. Ethan's voice was barely above a whisper. Jess, why did he stop? I don't know. Don't. They listened. They heard footsteps. Not Marcus's. Heavier. 2 sets of them. Slow. Unhurried. The kind of footsteps a man makes when he is not in any rush because he is not afraid of anything in the hallway. Then a voice. Male. Low. Polite. Mr. Bell. Who are you? We're here to walk you to your car, Mr. Bell. I don't know you. No, sir. You don't. Get away from me, Ethan. Ethan, there's 2 guys out here. Sir. Your car's in the street. Let's go. Get your hands off me. There was a scuffle. A short one. A soft grunt. The sound of a body hitting the hallway wall, not hard, almost gentle, the way you'd lean a piece of furniture against the wall while you figured out where to put it. And then Marcus's voice again. Different now. Smaller now. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going. I'm going. Just let me. After you, Mr. Bell. Footsteps down the hall. Marcus stumbling. The other 2 steady. The elevator dinged. The doors slid open. The doors slid closed. Silence. Ethan could hear his own heart in his ears. Jess crawled over on his hands and knees, actually crawled, because apparently neither of them trusted their legs anymore, and put his ear against the door. They're gone, Jess whispered. How do you know? I don't hear anything. Ethan's phone buzzed again. He's in the back of a car now. He's being driven home. He will not remember who we were in the morning. He will assume they were security from the building. Go to sleep, Ethan. Ethan stared at the words. He read them 3 times. And then, because the whiskey had finally burned through the last shreds of his common sense, he typed back. Who are you? The 3 dots appeared. Adrian. Adrian what? Long pause. Adrian Voss. Jess read the name over Ethan's shoulder. Said nothing. Said nothing for a long time. Then, very quietly. Ethan, honey. Do you have Wi-Fi? What? I need to Google something. What are you? Just let me see your laptop. Please. Ethan didn't argue. He was past arguing. He got up on legs that didn't feel like legs, walked to the coffee table, and handed Jess the laptop. Jess sat cross-legged on the floor, opened a browser, and typed Adrian Voss. The screen loaded. Jess's face did a thing. What? Ethan said. Jess, what? What does it say? Jess turned the laptop around. The first result was a news article from the New York Post. The headline read, Voss family patriarch dead at 74, son Adrian takes over family import business. The second result. Federal probe into Voss holdings stalled for third year. The third. Who is Adrian Voss? The mystery man running New York's quietest empire. The fourth was a photo. Ethan leaned in. Looked at it. And his whole body went cold. Because he knew him. He knew that face. Not well, not the way you know a friend. The way you know someone you've bumped into once in a doorway at a restaurant on 52nd Street. And for half a second, drunk and upset, you'd looked up into a pair of gray eyes, and a voice had said, "Messy nights are sometimes the honest ones." "Oh my God," Ethan whispered. "Yeah. Oh my God." Jess's voice was hollow. "Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, Ethan. They're saying a lot of things. None of them are nice." Ethan sat down on the floor next to his best friend. He put both hands over his face. He made a sound that was halfway between a laugh and a sob. "I sent, fuck you, to a mafia boss." "Yeah. I sent, fuck you, to a man the New York Post says. I read it, babe. And he sent actual men to my building." "I know, Ethan." "Yeah. What do I do?" Jessica Nakamura took a long breath. He closed the laptop. He turned to his best friend, and he took both of Ethan's hands in his, the way he used to do in middle school when Ethan's daddy was dying and neither one of them knew what to say. "You go to bed," Jess said. "You drink a big glass of water. You take a shower in the morning. You call in sick to work. You change your number. You change your locks. And we pretend this night did not happen. Okay. Say it back to me. Change my number. Change my locks. Pretend it didn't happen. Good. Jess. Yeah. Will you stay? Honey, I'm not going anywhere tonight. I'm gonna sleep right here on this couch. And if anyone knocks on that door before sunrise, I'm going out the fire escape with you in my arms like a bridal carry." Ethan laughed. Actually laughed. A real one. "I love you, Jess. I love you too, you dramatic mess." Ethan did not sleep. He lay in his bed with the lights off and his phone face down on the nightstand, and he stared at the ceiling, and he listened to Jessica snore softly from the couch. He listened to the radiator clank. He listened to a car pass on the street below. He listened to every single sound his apartment had ever made, and he catalogued each one, because he did not know anymore which sounds belonged to him and which belonged to someone watching him. At 3:14 a.m., his phone buzzed. He turned his head very slowly. Looked at it. He did not pick it up. At 3:16, it buzzed again. He reached out. He flipped it over. "Are you awake, Ethan?" He stared. His thumbs moved before his brain did. "Yes." "Are you all right?" He stared at the question. It was such a strange question from such a strange man at such a strange hour. "Are you all right?" Not "Are you safe?" Not "Did the men handle it?" Not "Did he leave?" "Are you all right?" Like he cared. "I don't know what I am." A pause. "That's an honest answer. I appreciate it." He waited. Another message came. "You Googled me." His stomach dropped. "How do you know that?" "Because I know when my name is searched. It's a habit. It's how I stay alive." "Oh. I imagine what you read was not flattering." "No. Most of it is true. Some of it is exaggerated. A little of it is wrong. I won't tell you which is which tonight. Ethan read that. Read it again. And found, to his own horror, that a tiny piece of him was not afraid. A tiny piece of him, the drunk piece, the angry piece, the piece that had just watched his whole life fall apart in the kitchen, that piece was interested. He hated that piece of him. Why are you doing this? He typed. Doing what? Texting me. Watching me. Sending men. The 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared. I saw your face 3 weeks ago in that restaurant, Ethan. I saw the way that man spoke to you. I saw the way you apologized for something that was not your fault. I went home that night, and I could not stop thinking about your face. So I made a phone call. I learned your name. I learned your number. I learned where you worked. I told myself I would not contact you. I told myself I would leave you alone. And then you sent me a message tonight. You sent it to me by mistake. But you sent it to me. And I decided the universe had made a decision I was not willing to argue with. Ethan put the phone down on his chest. Closed his eyes. Counted to 10. He picked the phone back up. That is the most insane thing anyone has ever said to me. I know. You have been watching me for 3 weeks. Not watching. Paying attention. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. He almost laughed. He almost actually laughed out loud into his empty bedroom at 3 in the morning. Adrian. Yes, Ethan. I don't know what to do with any of this. You don't have to do anything tonight. Go to sleep. I can't sleep. Then don't sleep. But close your eyes. I promise you are safe tonight. I give you my word. Your word. Yes. Is your word worth anything? Another long pause. Longer than any of the others. To most people, no. To you, it will be. He read it. He read it again. He set the phone down. He did not write back. At some point, somewhere between 4 and 5 a.m., Ethan Cole finally fell asleep. He woke up at 10:47 to the sound of Jessica making coffee and cursing at his espresso machine. Ethan. Ethan, get up. You have 11 missed calls. From who? Marcus. All Marcus. And, wait, no, one from a blocked number. And one from your sister. Ethan sat up. His head was splitting. His mouth tasted like pennies. For one beautiful second, he did not remember anything that had happened the night before. And then he did. All at once. In a cold rush that made him almost throw up. He grabbed his phone. The most recent text, from 10 minutes ago, was not from Marcus. It was from Adrian. There is coffee waiting over your door. Black, 1 sugar. I wasn't sure how you took it. The doorman accepted the delivery. Don't be alarmed. Ethan stared at the phone. Jess. Yeah, babe? Please tell me there is no coffee at my door. What? Jess. Please go check. Jessica walked to the door. Opened it. Stood there for a long moment. He came back holding a brown paper cup from a cafe Ethan had never heard of. It was still warm. A little folded card sat on top of the lid. Jess set it down on the counter like it was a grenade. What does the card say? Ethan whispered. I'm not opening it. Ethan, I don't want to touch it. Ethan reached out with shaking fingers. Unfolded it. In small, clean handwriting, the card read. Call in sick. Rest today. A. He read it 4 times. Then, and he would punish himself for this moment for days, he picked up the coffee. And he drank it. It was exactly how he took it. Jess watched him drink it. Didn't say a word. Finally, Jess said, "Ethan Cole. Don't. I have to. Don't, Jess. Ethan. I love you. I love you more than I love my own blood brother, and that man pays half my rent. But I'm gonna say this one thing, and then I'm done. Are you listening? I'm listening. That man is not a man you can wade out into. He is a current. You put one toe in him, and he takes you out to sea. You understand what I'm saying to you? I understand. Do you? Jess. Just, I understand. Then you're gonna block his number today. Today. Before you go to bed tonight. You're gonna block him. And you're gonna forget his name. And you are gonna go ahead being a regular 29-year-old man with a broken heart and a wine subscription and a best friend who loves you. You hear me? I hear you. Say you'll do it. I'll do it. Jess studied him. Jess had known him for 17 years. Jess knew exactly when Ethan Cole was lying. Ethan. I said I'll do it, Jess. Jess didn't answer. He just reached across the counter and took the empty coffee cup out of Ethan's hand. And he dropped it in the trash. And he walked back over to the couch and picked up his overnight bag. I gotta go to work, Jess said. I'll call you on my lunch break. And Ethan. Yeah. If I call and you don't answer, I am coming back here with the police and my cousin Derek and a baseball bat. In that order. Understood? Understood. Jessica left. The door clicked shut behind him. And Ethan Cole sat alone at his kitchen counter in the same spot where the night before he had typed a furious drunk text to his ex-boyfriend. He picked up his phone. He opened the conversation with the man who called himself Adrian Voss. His thumb hovered over the block button. It hovered for a long time. Then he opened a new message and he typed. Thank you for the coffee. He did not hit block. He did not hit send either. He sat there for full minutes, staring at those 5 words. And then his phone rang in his hand. Not a text. A call. The number on the screen was the same number. His number. Ethan looked at it ring. 1 ring. 2. 3. On the 4th, he answered. Hello. And a voice he had heard exactly once, 3 weeks ago in a doorway on 52nd Street, said in his ear, low and calm and unhurried. Good morning, Ethan. For a long second, he didn't answer. He couldn't. His tongue had gone flat in his mouth, and his heart was doing something frantic and unhelpful behind his ribs. You there? Adrian said. I'm here. How did you sleep? I didn't. I figured. Adrian. Yes. Why are you calling me? There was a small sound on his end. Almost a laugh, but not quite. The sound of a man who was amused and trying not to show it. Because texting someone who Googled you at 3 in the morning feels impersonal. Oh my God. I'm teasing you, Ethan. You are a mafia boss, and you are teasing me. I am not a mafia boss. That's what the internet says. The internet says a lot of things. I'm a businessman. I have a last name people remember. That's the whole story. That's not the whole story. No. He admitted it. It isn't. But it's enough for a Monday morning. Ethan pressed his forehead into his hand. His head hurt. His whole body hurt. He felt like he had been hit by a small car made entirely of whiskey and regret. Adrian, I have to tell you something. All right. I'm going to block this number. A pause. Are you? Yes. I told my best friend I would. I see. I'm telling you first because last night you did something for me. I don't know what exactly you did. I don't want to know. But Marcus didn't come back. And whatever that was, his voice caught. Thank you. And goodbye. Adrian didn't speak for a moment. When he did, his voice was softer. Ethan. Do me one favor before you block my number. What? Look out your kitchen window. Down at the street. Tell me what you see. Adrian, I am not playing a game with you right now. It's not a game. I promise. Just look. He hated himself for it. He got up. He walked to the window. He looked down. A black sedan was parked across from his building. The kind of car that does not belong on their street. Tinted windows. Nobody getting in. Nobody getting out. Just sitting there idling. I see a car, he said. Yes. Is that yours? Yes. Why is it there? Because your ex-boyfriend took a cab to your building 20 minutes ago. And my men turned him around at the corner. He's gone home. He'll try again tonight. He'll keep trying, Ethan. He's not a dangerous man, but he is a stubborn one. And a stubborn drunk is its own kind of problem. Ethan's stomach turned. He's been here already this morning. He's been trying since 7. And you? You were sleeping. Adrian. Yes. I did not ask for this. I know. I did not ask you to put a car on my street. I did not ask you to send men into my hallway. I did not ask you to watch me. I know. Then why? Because nobody else is going to. And there was something so quiet about the way he said it that Ethan had to sit down on his kitchen stool. Because the man who was supposed to love him was at a hotel on Tuesday while his mother couldn't breathe. Because his best friend was a good man and loved him but went home at night. Because I saw your face 3 weeks ago, Ethan. And whatever that was, I don't pretend to understand it, I have not been able to set it down. Ethan didn't speak. He couldn't. You're going to block this number, Adrian said. I'm not going to stop you. I gave you my word I would not hurt you, and that includes not keeping you on the phone against your will. So you block me. And I'll keep a car on your street for the next 3 days. And then I'll pull it off. And I will leave you alone. That is what I owe you for the mistake of contacting you in the first place. Adrian. Goodbye, Ethan. He hung up. Ethan stared at the dark screen of his phone. For the first time in 12 hours, Ethan Cole did not know what he was more afraid of, the man who had been lying to him for 7 years, or the man who had just told him goodbye. He did not block him. He told himself he would do it later. He did not do it later. By that afternoon, Jessica had called him 6 times, and Ethan had answered 4. The 2 he hadn't answered, Jess had left voicemails that started with Ethan Alexander Cole, if you are dead, I am going to kill you. On the 5th call, Ethan finally told his friend, in the careful voice of a man who had practiced a lie in the mirror, that he had blocked the number and gone to the pharmacy and was fine. You sure? Jess said. I'm sure. Because you sound weird, Ethan. I drank a lot of whiskey last night, Jess. I sound weird because I am dying. Fair. Can I go back to bed? Go. Drink water. Text me in the morning. I will. He hung up and immediately felt terrible. Lying to Jess was a thing he had done maybe 3 times in 17 years, and each time it had rotted in his stomach for a week. This time it rotted for about 4 hours. At 5:42 p.m., his phone lit up with a text from his ex-boyfriend. Ethan. Please. I know you don't want to hear from me. I am begging you. 10 minutes. I'll meet you anywhere. Public place. Your choice. I just need to look you in the eye and say what I have to say. Please. He read it. He read it again. He laughed, a short, dry laugh with no humor in it. Because he knew, that if he didn't agree to 10 minutes, Marcus was going to show up at his door every night for the next 2 weeks. He'd seen him do it to his own mother over a disagreement about Thanksgiving. Marcus Bell did not accept the word no. Marcus Bell waited for it to turn into fine. He typed back. Tomorrow. 6 p.m. The coffee shop on Lexington. 10 minutes. If you are even 1 minute late, I leave. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I love you. He did not answer. He sat with his phone in his hand for a long time. He thought about calling Jess. He thought about not calling Jess. He thought about all the things he wanted to say to Marcus and all the things he knew he would not say, because he had never in his life been able to make his mouth form the shape of his anger when Marcus was sitting in front of him. Then, without really thinking about it, his thumb moved. He typed a message to Adrian. I'm meeting him tomorrow at 6. Coffee shop on Lex. I just want you to know, in case something happens. I am not asking you to come. I am not asking you to do anything. I wanted someone to know. He stared at it for 30 seconds. His eyes burned. He hit send. The reply came in under a minute. Thank you for telling me. That was it. Nothing else. And somehow, absurdly, that short answer steadied him more than anything anyone had said to him in 24 hours. The next day crawled. He called in sick. He lay on his couch. He watched 3 episodes of a show he did not remember the name of. He stared at the ceiling. He ate half a piece of toast. At 5:30 p.m., he put on the first thing he pulled out of his closet, a pair of jeans and a sweater the color of dry leaves, and walked out of his building and down 2 blocks to the coffee shop on Lexington. He sat at a table by the window. He waited. Marcus was 8 minutes late. Ethan was about to get up and leave when Marcus came through the door with his hair damp from a shower and his eyes rimmed red and his hands already half raised like a man surrendering. His alpha scent hit Ethan before he even sat down, cedar and sandalwood, but sour now, tainted with desperation and cheap cologne. Baby. Don't call me that. Ethan. Sit down, Marcus. Marcus sat. He tried to take Ethan's hand. Ethan pulled it back. You have 10 minutes, Ethan said. Go. Marcus started crying. Ethan had seen this man cry exactly twice in 7 years. Once when his grandmother died, and once the night he'd been pulled over for drinking and lost his license for 6 months. Both times the tears had worked on Ethan. Both times he had wrapped his arms around Marcus and told him it was going to be okay. This time, he watched Marcus cry the way a man watches rain fall on somebody else's roof. I am so sorry, Marcus said. Ethan, I am so sorry. Derek, he's nothing. He is nothing. He was a mistake. I was lonely. I was stupid. I was. You were lonely. Baby, I sat in a hospital for 14 hours on Tuesday. I know. I know. I know. I hate myself, Ethan. I swear to God I hate myself right now. Please. I will go to therapy. I will go to couples therapy. I will go to a priest. I'll go to all three. Just please don't do this. Don't throw away 7 years. I am not throwing away 7 years. You threw away 7 years, Marcus. In a hotel room. On a Tuesday. Marcus dropped his face into his hands. I love you, he said into his palms. I love you so much. I don't think you know what that word means. Marcus looked up. His eyes were wet, but they were also doing something else. Something Ethan had seen before but never really looked at. A little flicker. A recalibration. A shift from pleading to something harder. Who is he? Ethan blinked. What? Who is he, Ethan? The guy. There's a guy. I know there's a guy. Last night when I came to your place, there were 2 men in the hallway. Those weren't security. Security doesn't look like that. Security doesn't move like that. So who is he? Ethan's pulse went up. He kept his face flat. There is no guy, Marcus. Don't lie to me. You are telling me not to lie. There is no guy. Ethan leaned forward. His voice dropped. And even if there was, even if I had started seeing somebody else 5 minutes after you left my apartment, Marcus, it would not be any of your business. You lost the right to ask me those questions on Tuesday. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Marcus's jaw tightened. The pleading was gone now. Completely gone. His face had done the thing Ethan had only ever seen it do once before, the night he'd yelled at a waiter in Ambrosia until the poor kid's hands shook. His alpha pheromones thickened in the air, aggressive, pressing. Don't make me look stupid, Ethan. Excuse me? Don't make me look stupid in front of my boys. Don't make me look like the guy whose Omega left him for some rich Manhattan. Marcus. This is over. Don't say that. It's over, baby. It was over Tuesday. You just didn't know yet. Ethan stood up. Marcus grabbed his wrist. Not hard. Not at first. But hard enough. Hard enough that Ethan froze for a half-second and looked down at Marcus's hand on his arm, in public, in a coffee shop on Lexington Avenue, at 6:14 p.m., and realized that he did not know the man he was looking at. Sit down, Marcus said. Low. Quiet. His alpha voice, pressing. A command. We are not done. Sit down. Let go of my arm. Sit down, Ethan. Let go of my arm, Marcus. The barista was watching. A man at the next table was watching. An old man in the corner with a newspaper was watching. Nobody moved. Nobody ever moves. This was the thing about being an Omega in public that Ethan had always known. When an alpha grabs you, every other person in the room turns into furniture. Except one of them didn't. A hand came down on Marcus's shoulder. Not hard. Almost friendly. A hand attached to an arm in a charcoal overcoat. Sir, a voice said mildly. Let go of the man's arm. Marcus looked up. His face did 3 things. First, it did confusion. Then it did recognition. Then it did fear. He let go of Ethan's arm like it was on fire. Adrian Voss was standing behind Marcus's chair in a charcoal coat and a white shirt with no tie. His hair was dark and cut close. His eyes were the color Ethan remembered from 3 weeks ago in the doorway at Ambrosia. Gray. The kind of gray that doesn't really look like any color at all until it looks at you. He did not look at Ethan. He looked down at Marcus. Mr. Bell, he said. Stand up. I don't know who you. Stand up, Mr. Bell. Marcus stood. Now, Adrian said, still perfectly calm, you are going to walk out of this coffee shop. You are going to turn left on Lexington. You are going to walk 3 blocks. You are not going to look back. You are not going to call him. You are not going to text him. You are not going to come to his building. Are we clear? Who the hell are? Are we clear, Mr. Bell? Something in Adrian's voice did something to Marcus's face. Ethan watched it happen. He watched his boyfriend of 7 years, the alpha who had yelled at waiters and grabbed his wrist and cried on command, turn into a 12-year-old boy in the space of 1 sentence. Yeah, Marcus said. Yeah. Yeah, we're clear. Good. I just want to say. Don't. Marcus walked out. He did not look back. The bell over the door jingled. The barista pretended to clean a cup. The man at the next table pretended to read a menu. The old man in the corner turned a page of his newspaper. And Adrian Voss turned, finally, to look at Ethan Cole. Are you all right? He said. Ethan didn't answer. He was looking at his own wrist. There were 4 small red marks on it, faint already, the shape of Marcus's fingertips. Adrian saw him looking. Saw the marks. Something moved in his face. Not loud. Not visible to anyone who hadn't been watching for it. But Ethan was watching for it. And for a split second, Ethan Cole saw what Adrian Voss looked like when he was angry. And he understood in his bones, without anybody having to tell him, that it was a thing a man only wanted to see once in his life. I'm fine, Ethan said. You're not. I am. Ethan. I asked you not to come. You told me where you would be. That is not the same as asking me not to come. Adrian. Sit down. I don't want to sit down. Then we'll walk. Adrian put his hand very lightly on the small of Ethan's back. He did not push. He did not pull. The hand was barely there at all. But Ethan Cole, who had been grabbed by the wrist 30 seconds ago by a man who had shared his bed for 7 years, found that this hand, from a man he had known for 48 hours, did not frighten him. He found instead that he was walking. They walked out of the coffee shop. They walked down Lexington. They turned onto a side street. A black sedan pulled up alongside them, smooth as a fish. The same black sedan Ethan had seen from his window. Get in, Adrian said. No. Ethan. No. I am not getting in a car with you. Adrian looked at him for a long moment. Then, to Ethan's surprise, he smiled. A small smile. Just a corner of his mouth. The first smile Ethan had ever seen on his face. Smart boy, he said. He opened the passenger door of the sedan and leaned in and said something to the driver in a low voice. The driver nodded. The sedan pulled away and turned at the corner and disappeared. Adrian straightened up. I'll walk you home, he said. That's all. I give you my word. Your word again. Yes. Ethan looked at him. Why do you keep saying that? Your word. Like it means something. Because where I come from, Ethan, it is the only thing that does. They walked. They did not speak for 2 blocks. At the 3rd block, Ethan said, without looking at him. He grabbed my wrist. I saw. Nobody did anything. I know. A man has never grabbed me before. I know. Adrian. Yes. If you had not walked in. I was always going to walk in. You were in the shop the whole time. I was at the counter the entire time. Oh my God. I ordered a coffee. I watched you. I waited for him to say something I did not like. That's insane. Yes. That is a completely insane thing to do. I know. Ethan laughed. He couldn't help it. A small, helpless laugh that was more air than sound. Adrian. Yes, Ethan. I don't know what you want from me. Adrian stopped walking. He turned and faced him. He put his hands in the pockets of his charcoal coat, and he looked down at Ethan the way Ethan imagined a man might look at something he had found in a field and could not decide whether to keep or leave. I don't want anything from you, Adrian said. That is the honest answer. I don't want a date. I don't want a kiss. I don't want you in my car. I don't want you to owe me. I want you to be safe. That is what I want. When you are safe, I will go away. Ethan stared at him. I don't believe you. That's all right. I don't believe anybody who says they don't want anything. That is probably wise. Then what are you doing, Adrian? Adrian was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, very softly. I am trying to find out whether I am still a man who can want something without taking it. I haven't been tested on that question in a long time. You are the test. Ethan Cole did not know what to say to that. So he said nothing. They walked the rest of the way to his building in silence. And when they got there, Adrian stopped at the corner, the way a man stops who is not going to cross a line he has not been invited over. Go inside, he said. Lock your door. Sleep. He won't bother you again. Adrian. Yes. Thank you. He nodded once. Good night, Ethan. Good night, Adrian. Ethan walked into his building. He took the elevator up. He unlocked his door. He locked it behind him. He dropped his coat on the couch. He sat down on the floor of his living room with his back against the front door, and he put his head in his hands, and he tried to remember what his life had looked like 48 hours ago. He could not. He could not remember it at all. His phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out. I forgot to ask. Did you eat today? He laughed out loud into his empty apartment. Then he cried. Then he laughed again. Then he typed back, with fingers that were steadier than they had any right to be. No. I didn't. A pause. There is a paper bag at your door. Turkey sandwich. Pickle on the side. Don't open the door until you hear the footsteps leave. He heard the footsteps almost immediately. Coming down his hallway. Stopping. Stopping right outside his door. Not knocking. Not speaking. Just a soft lump of something being set down on the carpet. Then footsteps again. Walking away. The elevator dinged. The elevator doors closed. And Ethan Cole sat with his back against his front door, holding his phone to his chest, and he understood clearly for the first time, without anybody having to explain it to him, that whatever this was, whatever he had walked into, he was not going to walk out of it the same person. He got up. He opened the door. He picked up the paper bag. He ate the sandwich standing up at the kitchen counter, the way a man eats when he does not trust himself to sit down. The bread was fresh. The turkey was sliced thick. The pickle was wrapped in its own little piece of wax paper, because apparently the man who had sent two strangers to pull his drunk ex-boyfriend out of a hallway also knew that a soggy pickle ruined a turkey sandwich. Ethan Cole thought, I am losing my mind. Then he thought, this is the best sandwich I have ever had in my life. Then his phone rang. It was Jessica. Ethan. Hi, Jess. Don't hi Jess me. Open your door. What? Open your door. I am literally standing in your hallway. Ethan nearly choked on the sandwich. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand and half ran to the door and opened it. And there was Jessica Nakamura, holding a grocery bag and looking at the paper bag from Adrian sitting on the hallway carpet with the single most unimpressed face Ethan had ever seen on a human man. Ethan. Just, Ethan, let me explain. Oh, please do. Please. I brought a bottle of wine, and I would love to hear this explanation. Jess walked in, set the grocery bag on the counter, turned around, crossed his arms, and waited. Jess, You told me you blocked him. I know. You looked me in the face on the phone this morning, and you told me you blocked him. I know, Jess. I know. I lied to you. I lied to you, and I'm sorry. Jess closed his eyes. Took a breath. Opened them. Tell me what happened. All of it. From the last time we talked until right now. Don't leave anything out. So Ethan told him. The text to Adrian about the coffee shop meeting. Marcus at the coffee shop. Marcus crying. Marcus grabbing his wrist. Adrian's hand on Marcus's shoulder. The walk home. The paper bag. Halfway through, Jess sat down on the kitchen stool. By the end, his head was in his hands. Ethan. I know, Jess. Ethan, honey. I know. He stood in the coffee shop the whole time you were with your ex? Watching? I know. He watched your ex grab your wrist before he moved. Ethan stopped. He had not thought about it like that. Jess. I'm just saying. He stopped it. He let it happen first. Ethan, I am not trying to be mean. I am trying to tell you what I am seeing. A man who cared about you would have walked over before it started. He let it start because he wanted you to see the difference. He wanted you to watch your ex be the bad guy so that he could be the good guy. That is not a coincidence. That is choreography. Ethan stood very still. Jess was looking up at him with eyes that were tired and so familiar. Sit down, Ethan. Jess. Sit down. Ethan sat. Okay, Jess said. Now I am going to ask you a question, and I need you to not get mad at me, and I need you to be honest. Okay. Okay. Do you like him? Jess. That is not an answer. I don't know what I feel. I've been broken up with Marcus for 48 hours, Jess. I don't like anybody. That's not what I asked. I didn't ask if you're ready to date him. I asked if you like him. Ethan opened his mouth. Closed it. Jess watched his face. Ethan Cole. I don't know, Jess. You know, there's something about him. I can't explain it. He is calm, Jess. I have never met a person that calm in my life. When he talks to me, it is like the whole world shuts up for a minute. I know how that sounds. I know exactly how it sounds. And I know what he is, Jess. I am not an idiot. You are not an idiot. You are a heartbroken omega in the middle of a very dangerous alpha's attention. And those two things do not make idiots. They make statistics. Ethan laughed once. A small, broken laugh. Jess. Yeah, babe. He told me his word means something. He told me he does not want anything from me. He told me he wants to find out if he is still the kind of man who can want something without taking it. Jess stared at him. He said that? Yes. In those words? In those words. Jess was quiet for a long time. Finally, he rubbed his face with both hands and said, very softly. Ethan. That is either the most honest thing an alpha has ever said to an omega in this city, or it is the best line I have ever heard in my life. I know. And I don't know which. I know. I don't think you know which. I don't. They sat there. The wine on the counter. The half-eaten sandwich. The paper bag Jess had refused to touch. Finally, Jess reached across the counter and took Ethan's hand. Okay, he said. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. What? You're not gonna block him. I'm not gonna ask you to anymore. That ship sailed the minute you didn't block him yesterday. But I'm going to ask you for one thing. Okay. Slow down. Whatever this is, slow down. No car rides. No apartments. No dinners at weird places you don't know. If he wants to see you, you see him in public, in daylight, at places I have also been. And you tell me every single time. Okay. Say it back to me. Public. Daylight. Places you've been. Tell you every time. Good. Jess. Yeah. Are you mad at me? No, Ethan. I'm scared of you. Of me? Of where you're going. Yeah. Ethan didn't answer that. He just reached across the counter and took his best friend's hand and held it. They finished the wine. They ordered a pizza. Jess fell asleep on the couch around 11. Ethan went to bed in his own room with his phone charging on the nightstand, and he stared at the ceiling, and he did not text Adrian Voss a single word. He did not text him either. Not that night. Not the next morning. Not for 3 whole days. And somewhere around the middle of the second day, Ethan Cole discovered to his own private horror, that he missed him. Not Marcus. Marcus he did not miss. Marcus had called 4 more times, and he had not picked up, and on the 5th call, he had blocked his number. And he had felt exactly nothing. A clean nothing. A nothing that had surprised him. But the other phone. The other conversation. The one that had gone quiet. He checked it in the morning. He checked it at lunch. He checked it before he fell asleep. And every time the screen stayed dark, something in his chest went a little tighter. By day 3, he was furious with himself. You are 29 years old. You have a job. You have a mortgage on half of this apartment. You have a sick mother and a best friend and a life. You are not sitting here waiting for an alpha to text you. Especially not this alpha. He did laundry. He went to the grocery store. He checked his phone. He called his mother. He checked his phone. He worked out until his muscles burned, trying to exhaust the restlessness out of his system. He checked his phone. On the 4th day, at 7:42 p.m., it finally buzzed. How are you, Ethan? He stared at it for a full minute before his thumbs moved. I'm okay. How are you? Better now. That was all he sent. 2 words. Better now. And Ethan Cole, alone in his kitchen, put his forehead down on the cold granite of his counter and laughed for about 30 seconds. Because the man was good. God help him, the man was good. He texted back. Are you in the city? Yes. Would you want to get coffee? A long pause. Longer than his pauses usually were. Ethan, yes. Is that a good idea? He almost laughed out loud. You are asking me if it is a good idea? Yes. Because when you ask me, I have to lie. He read that twice. Adrian. Yes. Tomorrow. The same coffee shop on Lexington. 4 p.m. I'll bring my best friend. He wants to look at you. That is fair. He is going to be very rude to you. I imagine so. He may call you names. I have been called worse. Okay. 4 p.m. I'll be there. Ethan put the phone down. He walked over to the mirror in his hallway. He looked at himself for a long moment. He looked at the man he had been 5 days ago, the man with a boyfriend and a routine and a life that fit. He looked at the man he was now. He could not tell, looking, which one of them he was more afraid of. Then he called Jessica. Jess. I need a favor. At 4 p.m. the next day, Ethan Cole and Jessica Nakamura walked into the coffee shop on Lexington. Adrian Voss was already there. Back corner. Same charcoal coat. A cup of black coffee in front of him. He stood up when they came in, which Ethan had not expected. And for a half second, he saw Jessica's face go through a small, complicated recalibration. Mr. Nakamura, Adrian said, and held out his hand. Thank you for coming. Jess did not take the hand. Jess said. Sit. Please. They sat. Jess crossed his arms. Did not order anything. Did not smile. Okay, Jess said. I have questions. I'm going to be rude. Ethan warned me. Please. Good. Go ahead. Jess opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. What are you doing with my friend? I'm trying to make sure he is all right. Why? Because I like him. You don't know him. That is true. You Googled him? No. Adrian shook his head. I hired someone to find his name. But I did not Google him. What's the difference? The difference is that Google would have told me things he had not told me himself. I wanted to wait for him to tell me things. Jess narrowed his eyes. Do you know I was arrested once? No. Good answer. I am telling you the truth, Mr. Voss. I did not investigate Ethan. I learned where to find him. That is all. Go on. What do you do for a living? I run my family's import business. What do you import? Many things. Name 5. Adrian smiled. An actual, full smile. The first one Ethan had ever seen from him. Mr. Nakamura. Name 5. I would rather not. That's what I thought. I will tell you this, though, because I think it matters. I have never in my life heard an Omega. I have never in my life allowed an Omega to be heard in a room I was in. I have never in my life taken something from an Omega that he did not offer to me. I am not going to do any of those things to your friend. I give you my word. Your word? Yes. A lot of alphas have given me their word, Mr. Voss. And most of them were lying. I believe that too. So why should I believe you? Adrian leaned back in his chair. He looked at Jessica for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice had gotten quieter, the way it did when he was actually answering a question and not managing one. Because in my business, Mr. Nakamura, my word is the only currency I have. If I break my word to your friend, the people I work with will hear about it. I will lose something worth more to me than anything you could imagine. So when I give you my word that I will not hurt him, I am giving you something that cost me money and people and time. That is the only reason you should believe me. It is the only reason anybody ever should. Jess did not answer for a long moment. Then he said, very evenly. Okay. Okay, I said okay. I don't like you. I'm not going to like you. But I'm not going to tell my best friend to stop talking to you. He's a grown man, and he gets to make his own mistakes. Fair? Fair. But, yes. If you hurt him in any way, not just physically. If you lie to him. If you disappear on him. If I catch you in one thing I don't like, yes, I will find your mother. Adrian blinked. I'm sorry. I will find your mother, Mr. Voss. Wherever she is. And I will tell her exactly what kind of man her son grew up to be. Everything you don't want her to know. In detail. On a Sunday. For the first time since Ethan had met him, Adrian Voss looked, for 1/2 second, genuinely rattled. Then he laughed. A real laugh. Surprised. Warm. Mr. Nakamura, that is the most frightening threat anybody has made against me in approximately 15 years. Good. My mother lives in a small town in Connecticut. She thinks I am in real estate. Does she now? She does. Then we understand each other. We do. Jess picked up Ethan's water, drank the whole thing, set it down, and stood up. I'm going to use the bathroom, Jess announced. And then I am going to walk home. Ethan, call me tonight. Mr. Voss, it was a displeasure. Goodbye, Mr. Nakamura. Jess walked off. Ethan watched him go, then turned slowly back to Adrian. I'm so sorry. Don't be. He is exactly the friend I would want you to have. He threatened your mother. He did. You are smiling. I am. Why? You know, because I have not been threatened in a long time, Ethan. I forget sometimes that it is refreshing. Ethan laughed. He laughed a real laugh, the first one in days. Adrian watched him laugh. He did not laugh with him. He just watched, very still, the way a man watches something he is trying to memorize. When Ethan stopped, Adrian said, Ethan. Yeah. I have to tell you something. Ethan's stomach dropped. Okay. I am going out of town for 5 days. I leave tonight. Oh. It is a business matter. I will not be reachable the way I am reachable now. If something happens while I am gone, there is a number you can call. I am going to give it to you. Adrian. Yes. Is this dangerous? A very small pause. It is normal. That is not what I asked. No. It is not what you asked. He reached into the inside pocket of his coat and took out a small white card. He slid it across the table. No name. Just 10 digits. Only if something happens, he said. Don't call for anything else. The man on that line does not make small talk. Okay. Ethan. Yeah. When I get back, yeah. I would like to take you to dinner. Ethan stared at him. You said you did not want anything from me. I still don't. But I have been thinking about it, and I realize that not wanting anything from you and not wanting to sit across a table from you are not the same thing. Adrian. Yes. Okay. Okay, what? Okay. Dinner. When you come back. Adrian nodded once. He stood up. Be careful, Ethan. You too. He left. Ethan sat in the booth for a long time with his cold coffee and the little white card, and he did not call Jessica, and he did not call his mother, and he did not call anybody. He just sat. 5 days passed. He did not text. Ethan did not text. The white card sat on his kitchen counter like a thing made of radioactive material. On the morning of the 6th day, at 6:14 a.m., his phone rang. Not from Adrian's number. From the number on the card. Ethan sat bolt upright in bed. His hand was shaking before he'd even picked up the phone. He already knew. The way you know. The way your body knows before your brain catches up. Hello? A voice on the other end. Not a voice he had heard before. Older. Rougher. Careful. Mr. Cole? Yes. Mr. Voss asked that I call you if a particular situation arose. What situation? Mr. Cole. What situation? A pause. Mr. Voss has been injured. Ethan stopped breathing. I don't know. Not over the phone, Mr. Cole. He is alive. Where is he? Mr. Cole. Where is he? Another pause. Longer. Mr. Cole, I will be at your building in 11 minutes. Please dress warmly. Please bring nothing with you but your phone. And Mr. Cole. Yes. Do not tell anyone where you are going. The line went dead. Ethan Cole sat on the edge of his bed in a t-shirt and a pair of old sleep shorts, holding a phone that was no longer connected to anything, and he understood with a clarity he had never felt before about anything in his whole life that the moment he walked out of his apartment this morning, he was not going to be the same man who walked back in. He stood up. He got dressed. He walked to the door. He picked up his coat. He did not call Jessica. The man waiting for him downstairs did not introduce himself. He was older than Ethan had expected, gray at the temples, a face that had seen things and had not at any point been made softer by them. He opened the back door of a black car that was not the same black car Ethan had seen before. A different one. Quieter. Mr. Cole. Where is he? In the car. Please. Is he at a hospital? Mr. Cole, in the car. Ethan got in. The door shut behind him with the specific, heavy sound of a door that was not a regular door. He understood what that sound meant, and he did not ask about it. The driver pulled away from the curb. Tell me what happened. That is not my information to give, Mr. Cole. He called me through you at 6 in the morning. I think it is my information now. The driver met his eyes in the rearview mirror. Held them for a long second. Then, to Ethan's surprise, he nodded. Mr. Voss was in a meeting last night that did not go the way he planned. There was an altercation. He was injured in the shoulder and the side. He is not at a hospital. He will not be at a hospital. He is in a place of ours where a doctor has been. The doctor has done what the doctor can do. Mr. Voss has been asking for you since he woke up. Since he woke up? Yes. He was unconscious for some time. Ethan put both hands flat on his thighs to keep them from shaking. How bad? He will live. That is not what I asked. I know, Mr. Cole. It is the only answer I am giving you. The drive was 40 minutes. Ethan did not know where they were. He did not look. He watched his own hands in his lap, and he tried to do what his mother had taught him to do a long time ago, when his father was dying. Count the breath. 4 in. 4 out. 4 in. 4 out. It did not work very well. When the car stopped, the driver came around and opened his door. Mr. Cole. Yes. He looks worse than he is. I am telling you so that you do not make a face he will remember. Ethan looked up at him. Thank you. The The man inside the building, an older woman in a housekeeper's apron, two men in dark suits who did not speak, a doctor who was packing up a bag and nodded at Ethan once without stopping, all of them moved around him like he was supposed to be there. Like he had been expected. Like he was part of the furniture of Adrian Voss's real life. None of them asked his name. None of them asked his business. He was led down a hallway. A door was open. Adrian was in a bed. Not a hospital bed. A regular bed. His shoulder was wrapped. There was a bandage along his ribs. His face was pale. There was a bruise blooming along his jaw. His eyes were closed. The man at the door said quietly, "Mr. Voss. He is here." Adrian opened his eyes. He looked at Ethan. His whole face changed. "Ethan. Hi. You came." "Of course I came. You shouldn't have." "I know." He tried to sit up. Winced. Let himself back down. Ethan crossed the room without thinking and sat on the edge of the bed and took his hand. He had not meant to take his hand. He did it anyway. "Adrian. I'm all right." "You are not all right." "I am alive." In my line of work, those are the same sentence. Don't what? Don't make a joke right now. Please. Adrian was quiet. He squeezed Ethan's hand once. Weakly. "Okay. What happened?" "A disagreement." "Adrian." "Ethan. I'm sitting on your bed in a house I do not know, after being driven here by a man whose name I do not know, because you were unconscious and asking for me. I think I get to know what happened." Adrian closed his eyes. Opened them again. "There is a family," he stopped. Started again. "There is a family that my family has had a disagreement with for a long time. 31 years. Longer than you have been alive. Every 5 or 6 years, somebody on one side or the other decides that this is the year we settle it. Last night, somebody on the other side decided it was this year. He was wrong. But he made his decision close enough to me that I have a hole in my shoulder to show for it. Oh my God. Ethan. Oh my God, Adrian. Ethan. Listen to me. I'm listening. I want you to go home." Ethan blinked. "What?" "I want you to go home today. Right now. Frank will drive you. I want you to go home, and I want you to not answer my calls, and I want you to not answer the door, and I want you to live your life. I want you to meet a man who works in an office. I want you to marry him. I want you to have a baby. I want you to forget my name. Adrian. I am telling you the truth, Ethan. This is what I should have said to you the first night. I should have said to you, I am a dangerous man, and the things around me are dangerous, and the people who do not like me are dangerous, and you are not going to survive loving me. I should have said that. I did not say that. I said instead that I wanted to find out if I could want something without taking it. And what I have found out, Ethan, is that I cannot. Because the minute a man like me wants something, a person, a man, a future, there are other alphas who will try to take that thing away from him. And I will not, I cannot. His voice cracked. Adrian Voss's voice cracked. Ethan had not thought him capable of it. I cannot be the reason something happens to you, Adrian said. Go home. Please. Go home. Ethan looked at him. Looked at his bandaged shoulder, at the bruise along his jaw, at the hand in his which was cold and which he had not let go of. And he understood then, in a very clean and very strange way, the thing he had been trying not to understand for 2 weeks. He was not going home. Adrian. Ethan, please. No. Ethan. No, Adrian. Adrian closed his eyes. I am not going home, Ethan said. I am going to go get you water, because your lips are dry and I can tell you are thirsty, and nobody in this house seems to have thought about it. I am going to bring you that water. And then I am going to sit in the chair next to this bed, and I am going to sit there until the doctor comes back, and then I am going to sit there some more. Do you understand me? Ethan. Do you understand me, Adrian? A long pause. Yes. Good. Ethan let go of his hand. He stood up. He walked to the door. At the door, with his hand on the frame, he stopped. He did not turn around. Adrian. Yes. I want to say something, and I only want to say it one time, and I want you to listen to me. I'm listening. I spent 7 years with an alpha who was a coward in a clean suit. 7 years. I picked up his dry cleaning. I lied for him to his mother. I sat in a hospital while he was in a hotel. I am 29 years old, and I have been a fool for 7 of those years. Do you understand what I am telling you? Yes. I am not going to be a fool for one more day of my life. Adrian, for you or for anybody. I am going to walk into things with my eyes open from now on. And if I walk out of something, it is going to be because I chose to walk out, not because an alpha told me to go home for my own good. Are we clear? Yes. Good. He went and got the water. He stayed 2 days. He slept in the chair by the bed the first night, and the housekeeper, whose name he learned was Marta, woke him up at 3 in the morning to take him to a guest room. He slept there the second night. Marta made him eggs in the morning. Marta did not ask questions. Marta patted him on the shoulder once on the second morning and said, in an accent Ethan could not quite place. He is a good man when he is allowed to be one, Mr. Cole. Ethan said, is he allowed to be one? Marta said, that is what you will decide. On the third morning, the doctor said Adrian could be moved. They drove back to the city slowly. The whole way, Adrian held Ethan's hand in the back seat, and he did not speak, and Ethan did not either. Jessica was waiting outside his apartment when he got home. Jess had called 11 times. Jess had texted 27. Jess had a bag from a Thai place, 2 cans of ginger ale, and the face of a man who had already prepared the argument. Ethan. Hi, Jess. Where were you? Jess. Ethan Alexander Cole. Where were you? Ethan opened his door. Jess followed him in. Jess set the Thai food on the counter and crossed his arms. Ethan sat down on the couch. He put his face in his hands. He cried for about 30 seconds. Not loudly. Not the way he had cried over Marcus. Quietly. The way a man cries when he has been holding something for 2 days that is too heavy for one person to hold. Jess came over. Sat down. Pulled him into a hug. Okay, Jess said. Okay, baby. Okay. Tell me. Ethan told him everything. When he was done, Jess was quiet for a long moment. He got up. He got 2 plates. He spooned out pad CEW. He brought one back to the couch. Eat, Jess said. Eat. Then we talk. Ethan ate. Finally, Jess said, Ethan. Yeah. I am not going to try to talk you out of this. Ethan looked up. What? I thought about it the whole time you were gone. I thought about every single thing I was going to say to you when you came back. And I realized something. What? I realized you are not the same man who sent a drunk text 2 weeks ago. You are not the same man I had to pull off the kitchen floor. Something changed in you, Ethan. I don't know what. And I am not going to fight it. Jess. I am not done. Listen to me. I am not going to fight it. But I am going to tell you two things. Are you listening? I'm listening. 1. If you ever again disappear for 2 days without calling me, I will call your mama. I will drive to Baltimore, and I will tell your mama everything. Do you understand? I understand. 2. I love you. I have loved you since we were 12 years old. I will love you if you marry that man, and I will love you if you leave him. I will love you if he drags you into something that makes the papers, and I will love you if you show up on my doorstep in 5 years with a baby and the most ordinary life an Omega has ever lived. I will love you, Ethan Cole. Whatever you pick. Are you hearing me? Ethan was crying again. Not quietly this time. I'm hearing you. Good. Jess. Yeah. I love you too. I know you do, you dramatic mess. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks in which Adrian Voss healed and ate dinner with him twice and held his hand across a white tablecloth at a restaurant that did not have a sign on its door. 3 weeks in which he kissed Ethan on the corner of the mouth outside his building on a Thursday night and then drove away before Ethan could say anything about it. 3 weeks in which Marcus Bell sent him exactly one final text from a number he did not recognize, which said simply, I get it. I'm sorry. Goodbye. And that was all. 3 weeks in which Ethan Cole started to think, quietly, in the back of his own mind, that maybe, the worst of it was behind him. That maybe Adrian had been wrong. That maybe an Omega could walk into the orbit of an Alpha like him, and the orbit could simply hold without breaking, without pulling him apart. 3 weeks. And on the 22nd day, at 4:16 in the afternoon, as Ethan Cole was walking home from the pharmacy with a paper bag and his keys in his hand, a man he had never seen before stepped out from between 2 parked cars and put his hand on Ethan's elbow. Mr. Cole. Ethan froze. Don't scream. Don't run. Don't do anything. I only want to talk to you. Get your hand off of me. Walk with me to the corner, Mr. Cole. Just to the corner. That is all I am asking. I said get your hand. Your Mr. Voss is sitting in a restaurant on 58th Street right now. He does not know I am here. I want you to understand that before I say anything else. I am here on my own. Who are you? I am a man who has a problem with your Mr. Voss. And I have a message I need delivered. The only way I could think of to deliver it was to you. Let go of my elbow. Mr. Cole. Let go of my elbow. He let go. He did not step back. The message is this. Tell him that if he does not meet me on Friday, if he does not bring what he owes, if he does not come alone, the next conversation I have will not be with you. It will be with your mother in Baltimore. Do you understand? Ethan's whole body went cold. How do you know about my mother? I know a lot of things about you, Mr. Cole. If you touch my mother, I am not touching anyone. I am delivering a message. The message is that I could. That is the whole message. Tell your Mr. Voss. Friday. He'll know where. The man stepped back. He walked away. He turned the corner. He was gone. Ethan stood on the sidewalk with the paper bag from the pharmacy in one hand and his keys in the other, and he did not move, and he did not cry, and he did not call anybody. Not yet. He stood there for 1 full minute. He waited for his hands to stop shaking. Then he walked very calmly to the curb and flagged down a cab and got in the back and told the driver an address on 58th Street. He did not call Adrian first. He did not call Jessica. He walked into that restaurant at 4:31 p.m. with the paper bag still in his hand, and the maitre d' tried to stop him, and he looked over the man's shoulder and saw Adrian at a corner table with two men in suits. One of them noticed him first and tapped Adrian's hand. Adrian turned. He saw Ethan's face. He stood up. He was already walking toward him by the time Ethan was halfway across the room. Ethan. Outside. What happened? Outside, Adrian. Adrian took him by the shoulder gently and walked him back out onto the street. He closed the door of the restaurant behind them. Tell me. Ethan told him every word. The name of the street. The way the man had looked. The part about his mother. The part about Friday. He did not cry. His voice did not shake. He had already done all of his shaking on the sidewalk, and he was done with it. Adrian listened. When he was finished, his face had done the thing Ethan had only ever seen it do once before, the night in the coffee shop when he had looked down at Ethan's wrist and seen the marks on it. A thing that was not loud. A thing that was not visible to people who were not looking for it. But Ethan was looking for it. Adrian. Yes. What are you going to do? A long pause. I am going to handle it, Ethan. What does handle it mean? It means you are going to your mother's house in Baltimore tonight. I am putting you on a train in 1 hour. 2 of my men are going to your mother's house tonight, and they are going to sit in her living room, and they are going to drink her coffee, and they are not going to leave until I tell them they can leave. That is one part of what handle it means. And the other part? The other part is not for you to know, Ethan. Not tonight. Not ever. Adrian. Ethan. Adrian took his face in both of his hands. Gently. The gentlest thing he had ever done. Listen to me. I told you the first night we met that I did not want to be the reason that something happened to you. Do you remember? Yes. I meant it then. I mean it now. So I am going to ask you to do something that is going to feel very hard. I am going to ask you to trust me. I am going to ask you to get on a train. I am going to ask you to not ask me what I did on Friday. And I am going to ask you, when this is over, to decide, with your eyes open, the way you told me you were going to decide things from now on, whether you still want to be in a room with me. Ethan looked at him. Looked at him for a long time. Adrian. Yes. I already decided. Adrian blinked. What? I already decided. I decided on the second morning in that house when Marta brought me eggs. I decided a long time before you thought I did. Ethan. I am going to get on the train. I am going to go to my mother. I am not going to ask you what you did on Friday. But when I come back, Adrian, when I come back, I am not going to a different apartment. I am not going to a different life. I am coming back to you. Do you understand what I am saying to you? Adrian's eyes were wet. Ethan had not known he could do that either. Yes. Good. Ethan. Yeah. I do not deserve you. I know you don't. Neither did the last one. The difference is you know it. Adrian put him on a train that night. His mother cried when he walked in the door. The 2 men in suits sat in her living room and drank coffee and did not leave for 5 days. They called her ma'am. His mother, by the 3rd day, was feeding them pie. On Friday, Ethan did not watch the news. On Saturday morning, Adrian called him. He said, "It is done." Ethan said, "Come and get me." A year later, Ethan Cole stood at the window of an apartment on the 22nd floor of a building he had not been able to imagine a year before, with a cup of coffee in his hand and a ring on his finger that had not come from a store. He looked down at a street that had no black sedan on it anymore, because the black sedan was parked in a garage downstairs, because the man who rode in it lived here now with him. Jessica was coming for dinner. His mother was coming next weekend. The man who had stopped him on the street that day had not been heard from again, and he had never asked why, and he never would. His phone buzzed on the counter. "Are you home, Ethan?" He smiled. He typed back. "Yes, Adrian. I'm home." And he was. He had sent a furious drunk text to the wrong number on the worst night of his life. He had meant to curse out a coward. He had instead dialed his way into the orbit of a dangerous alpha who had turned out to be the only honest one he had ever known. Ethan Cole had not been looking for a mafia boss. But a mafia boss had been looking at him. And in the end, with his eyes open the way he had promised himself he would do everything from now on, Ethan Cole had chosen him. And he would choose him again. Every single time. The end.